I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna make this quick, okay? For those of you who don't know me, I was introduced, so you should know me, but my name is Caleb, and that might not mean much to you until I say, hey, I'm Jonathan's brother, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I know him. But, you know, younger sibling problems. I want to thank everybody for coming out here. We got people from all over the world, you know, it's great to see that, and it's amazing how far people will travel for free food. So. I'm honored to be here today to give the brother's speech for Jonathan. I know the competition was very high. It was me against, well, me, but I first met Jonathan in late 90s, I believe. 1999 to be exact. And Jonathan and I, we're always very alike. I remember we were always approximately, you know, the same height, and everybody, like, nobody could tell us apart, basically. And then one day, Jonathan grew up, and I didn't. And he would make fun of me a lot, like, I'm taller than you. Well, who's laughing now? But Jonathan and I have always had a very special bond. You know, we've had our disagreements and fights, but all brothers do. And he's got me into a lot of stuff. He got me into Marvel and soundtracks and a lot of great stuff. And so I'm going to tell you maybe 3 of my favorite moments with him. Most of them are good, so it's good. First one, December 18th, 2015, the day that The Force Awakens was released in theaters. Ever since we were a kid, Jonathan and I loved Star Wars. Luke Skywalker was like my hero. But throughout the years, my love of Star Wars kind of died out just a little bit. You know, I overwatched the classics, so that kind of ruined it. And then I realized, you know, how bad the prequels were. So, you know, that kind of ruined it too. So when we sat in the theater, I was like, man, okay. I was a little excited, but I wasn't like too excited. Then I looked at Jonathan, and he was like on the edge of his seat. He's like, I'm so ready for this. So I was sitting there, and my excitement was a little low, and then the lights dim, and up on the screen it says, a long, long time ago, in the galaxy far, far away. And me and Jonathan just look at each other. Like, this is happening. What is going on? And then boom, the intro music plays. We basically just shot like straight up. It felt like it was crazy, but that was one of my favorite moments with Jonathan. Another really good, this isn't really a moment, this is kind of a series of moments. Working with Jonathan at Napa was such a fun time. The second time. But no, it was really good. He moved out a while ago, so it was kind of weird not having him around. And when I started working there, I got to see him almost every day, and it was great. We got to talk more. And one of the favorite things I would do is, you know, I was running out for a delivery, and then Jonathan's like, hey Caleb, guess the song, and he blasts like the music on the computer. And you know, sometimes it was difficult, and sometimes, oh, this is Into the Fray by Henry Jackson from the Winter Soldier soundtrack, directed by the Russo brothers. I mean, come on, give me a challenge. But it was great. We always loved soundtracks. You know, we were sitting over there just eating our food, and then I just turned to him and like, is this the Thor soundtrack? He's like, yeah, okay. And then third, well, they're not in order, but another great memory I've had with him is making costumes with him. We pulled off some pretty crazy stuff. I'm sure some of you have seen some photos. And we plan our costumes about like a year ahead. So we have a lot of time One time I dressed up as the 11th Doctor, and he dressed up as the 10th, and we both looked perfect. My favorite costume was probably my Loki costume, and he helped out a lot with that costume, and it wouldn't have looked as amazing as it did without Jonathan's help and his creativity. His creativity level is incredible, and most of you know that. But enough about Jonathan. Let's talk a little bit about Jessica. I remember when I first met Jessica. I remember I walked into a school. I just came back from a school field trip, or I didn't walk into school. Sorry, I walked into the house, and I just came back from the school field trip, and I just walked in, and then I turned over, and there's this girl sitting beside Jonathan. What? There's a human here. It's like I don't know how to react, and I'm shy and kind of an introvert, so I did what everybody else would do. I kind of nodded and hid in my room for the rest of the night. But I really got to know Jessica throughout the years. She's been there for me a lot when I've been having a hard time, some recent and some from right at the beginning. We've really got to bond together, and she really became a member of our family, and I've gotten to see both Jonathan and Jessica grow through their relationship and also their relationship with God, and I'm super proud and happy for both of you. And Jonathan, there's some advice I just want to say. Marriage can be hard sometimes. No marriage is perfect. Every couple has their fights, and in these situations you can feel like a sheep trapped in a maze designed by wolves. And Jonathan, that if you're ever in those marriage situations and if you're ever in those arguments and fights, there are always two doors to choose from. Oh, it's easy. There's two doors, and through the first door, oh, it's easy to get through that door. On the other side, waiting for you, all the nummiest treats you can imagine. Fanta, Doritos, LMP, burger rings, Coke Zero. But you know what? There's another door. Not the burger ring door, not the Fanta door. Another door that's harder to get through. And behind that door, when you're in those marriage situations, is the confession that you're wrong and Jessica is always right. It might be difficult to get through those doors, but trust me, that's the door you need to take. Even if she's wrong, she's right, okay? Otherwise, Jessica might show you another door. You know what's behind that door? No, not vegetables. Jesus. You'll see Jesus. Because you're dead. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. I've been talking a while, so I should probably wrap it up a little bit. But this is a quote from a very famous person. Mao is... No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, no. But here's the quote. It's by a very famous person, very popular. He was in a lot of movies, including the TV show Days of Our Lives. And the quote is, "We're gathered here today on the joyous occasion to celebrate the love that Jonathan and Jessica share. And it is a love based on giving and receiving, as well as having and sharing. And the love that they give and have is shared and received. And through this having and giving and sharing and receiving, we too can share and love and have and receive. Sincerely, Baby Kangaroo." Wishing you both the best in the future. I love you both, and I'm so happy for you.